Thanks for supporting the channel by clicking the links in the description box. And thank you so much for liking, commenting, sharing, and subscribing. And now let's get into this podversation. So let's talk about Wendy Williams, because everybody else is talking about it, and it's unfortunate when you see somebody going through struggles, especially on television, live to be exact. It can be just one of those things where it's like cringeworthy, sort of like looking at a train wreck, and it's hard to look away, even though there could be some devastation involved there. But I wanted to talk about why the calls that people have been giving for her to step down, to get off of the show, get off of television, is falling upon deaf ears when it comes to Wendy Williams. And the main reason is, at this point in time in her life, this seems to be her rock, the thing that she has been clinging on, the thing that she felt was the only thing that she really had left, because she was married for a long time to somebody that she thought was her best friend, but he clearly did not feel the same way about her. And although they have a son together who she loves and adores and would talk about on a very regular basis, little Kevin, he's now an adult, and as children tend to do, especially when it comes to male children, they tend to grow up and just kind of move on and do their own thing. Not saying that he doesn't love his mom. There have been reports out there that they're not in the best place right now, and I'm hoping and praying that that changes, because that's her only child, and I know what it's like to just have one child. You may not want your child to be a mama's boy or a daddy's girl, or whatever like that, in terms of them not being able to hold their own and live their own lives. But when that's your only child, you want to have a pretty regular relationship with that child, where you're being able to touch their pulse and hear their voice and make sure that they're okay, and they make sure that you're okay. Because Wendy Williams, she's not a spring chicken. She is a woman of a particular age, and this is what she has left. This show is her, the Wendy Williams Show. It's not just another television show and she just happens to be one of the people that's employed on the show. No, this is her namesake. This is her show. And it looks really cringy for all intents and purposes right now, because there are things that are happening that it's catching people by surprise. It's throwing people off guard. She's, said things like telling someone to shut up and don't look at me, and some other things that have happened, and just saying some things that were just kind of off the rails, catching people off guard. And then now the news is out about her former DJ Booth, who's saying some things that happen that a lot of people are like, oh God, no, is that really happening? Did that really happen? But she is a workaholic. She's somebody that has had to come out and confess to some things regarding addiction issues that she has struggled with. And she has been in the public eye for a very long time, and unfortunately had a very, very public breakup with her husband, who committed infidelity, pretty much just having a full-on relationship with someone else, and wound up having a child. And to the public's knowledge, because we don't have any other information to go by, the last we've heard, he's still in a relationship with this person. And they were living off of her hard work, her sweat, her tears, all of her efforts, everything that she's put into her career. They're living off of it. The other woman is living off of her money. So when the divorce settlement happened, there are a lot of things that was ruled in his favor, which I really still don't understand that. But I mean, that just shows how screwed up the legal system is, not just in the criminal justice system, but when it comes to civil things like divorces and settlements and things like that. So some people were saying that Kevin should step in, and he was the backbone, he was the one that handled all of her business affairs. I mean, that may be true to some extent, but did he really have her best interest at heart? No, he didn't. He was using her. I can't say that he never loved her at all, but anybody that's going to do the things that he did to this woman, that's not love. That is not the definition of love. He definitely wasn't in love with her. He may have had some sort of care for her, but he wasn't really concerned with her best personal interest, because even when she was in rehab, I mean, he was still going on about his business and doing whatever he wanted to do with this other person, with, what's her name, Sharina? So the people who are saying that Kevin should step in and help her out, and he was the one that was really handling things for her, and now that he's not around, she's spiraling out of control. And some people are alluding to the fact that she is abusing substances again. That may be possible, but that's alleged. We don't really know that for certain unless she comes out and says it, or unless someone comes out and they have proof, just flat out proof that is what's happening, then all of it is alleged. But her show is sort of like her husband and her baby right now. That's all she has. She has parents. I believe she has a sibling or siblings, but does she really have close friends? Now, Charlemagne from the Breakfast Club, he pretty much said she doesn't really have friends. And he said that when Nene Leakes was being interviewed on the Breakfast Club at one point in time, because Nene was proclaiming that they had a friendship. And he just came out and said, like, you know, Wendy, she doesn't really have friends. And I would tend to believe him when it comes to that. And it's not that she can't be a friend or that people can't be friends with her. I feel like she has a lot of trust issues, and she's also probably used to just being a loner, especially in the industry, because of the type of work that she has done over the years. Love her, hate her. I mean, most people either love her or they hate her. And a lot of the hate comes from the fact that she does what she does for a living, which is not just share the celebrity news and gossip, but no, she gives exclusives, and you know, she did it more so on the radio than she does on television, but that's what she was known for. That's what a lot of people either loved her for or hated her for. She would expose things about people that a lot of people really didn't know, and you know, people love gossip. That's what people tend to gravitate to. So the show is like her husband and her baby right now. So to divorce the show is not something that she can see happening. To give the show up is like giving your child up for adoption that you love. This is what she knows. This is what she loves. This is what she's used to. This is something that's actually giving her a reason to get up and go every day. And this pandemic has got a lot of people in a state where they feel like life is just not normal. Things are so unreal. They're fatigued with the quarantine and fatigued with having to change up their lives and their lifestyles and the way that they were handling their day-to-day business, and whether it was school or your career or all of these different things. A lot of us have had to deal with things differently, and so she was used to going into the studio and filming and having the crowds and interacting with the crowds and doing those different things. So to be in quarantine for many months, I am quite sure that is something that added to this sort of depressive state that she's in right now. So this is why I believe she just won't stop. She will not give this up. This is her show. And unless it's taken away from her, unless it's canceled in some way, she's going to continue to move forward and do this, because this is what she is used to. She's not new to this. She's true to this. This is what she knows. This is what she loves. And yeah, she may be going through a lot of things right now. I do believe that she's going through a lot. Some people may say this is her karma. I can't really say that that is so, because karma usually doesn't involve this, state of self-inflicting things on yourself. And when you are abusing substances, that's something that you're doing to yourself based on trying to feel better because of some things that are going on in your life that are beyond your control. She couldn't control her husband. He was not a faithful person, and he really did not love her. I don't care what people say, he really didn't love her, because anybody that would do that doesn't really have true, genuine love for their spouse. He used her, period. I don't care what anyone says. And so calling for him to come and help her at this state and time, he's not the person. He's not. No one can control her like her, self. No one can control her. She may have people that are in her life that are trying to guide her and trying to give her advice, but she is an adult and she is ultimately going to make the decisions that she wants to make for her own life. So these are the reasons why I feel like she just is not going to quit this show. A lot of people think that she just needs to just hang it up and move on, give herself some time. I do believe that she probably needed much more of a break than she did have. And going through all of the things that she went through in her life last year that were exposed to the public, and it was just continuous gossip about her life and a lot of things being exposed about that relationship and her own substance abuse issues, that would have a huge toll on anybody. And then to be in quarantine alone, she wasn't with a husband, she wasn't with her son, she was alone for the most part in her home, and still moving forward and still filming the show and doing this in a much different way than she's used to, and probably in a way that she really didn't care to do. I feel like that also played a huge toll on her. There are a lot of people that are dealing with depression during this time of this pandemic and dealing with the quarantine. A lot of people's lives have been turned upside down. A lot of people have lost their career positions, things that they have done for many, many years, and now it's a totally new avenue that they're traveling down right now that they're not really used to. And I believe that this is something that she's dealing with, along with all of the other issues that were involved. So let's hope and pray that she gets better, but I don't see her quitting this unless it's just completely stripped away from her. She's just going to keep moving forward. So those who support her, those that love her, just continue to support her. And I'm quite sure that that energy she will draw from it. And hopefully she will get help if she needs it, if she is dealing with substance abuse issues. So I just wanted to talk about that, guys. I would love to know your thoughts. So please feel free to leave them in the comment section.